Okay, so this video is going to focus on how to write the introductory paragraph for a critical analytical essay. The previous lesson page would have talked about the full essay, what's the structure, that's the 5 paragraphs, so on and so forth. So make sure you're getting comfortable with that. You're going to talk about more of that and deal with more of that in the next unit. So we're really going to focus on just the first paragraph here. So this page here is talking about, well, what's all involved in an introductory paragraph. You'll notice there's 4 components that are listed here. Really take your time to go through that. You'll pay attention that there's a whole section on a thesis here. So again, we want to be making sure we're really clear on what a good thesis is or a poor thesis is, because the thesis is the most important part of an essay. If we don't have a good thesis, we likely do not have a good essay. Okay, so this video is meant to give you an example. All right, so we're going to use a pretty easy topic here because we really want to focus on the structure here rather than the topic itself. But just a reminder, the topics, there's always going to be a prompt, and the prompt will ask us to discuss the ideas developed by whatever text creator we're asking you to talk about. And this one's saying about the ways in which relationships affect identity. So like I said, this is pretty simplistic, but that's okay. We're trying to understand the structure. Whenever you read a prompt, you always want to highlight the bold or highlight the keywords, because these are keywords that we should see these words or synonyms of these words throughout the entire essay. So we don't want to be repetitive in our phrasing in an essay over and over, saying the same things or same ideas over and over. However, we do want to be repetitive with things like these keywords or synonyms of these words and with ideas from our thesis. So repetitiveness is allowed and expected with key terms and with ideas in your thesis. Not so expected or appropriate with just general language or if we're saying the same argument over and over. Okay, so let's get into it. The first sentence of an introductory paragraph is the motivator. So this should be 1 sentence. It can be up to 2. It should not be more than 2. And essentially, this is a general statement about the topic, not the text. Okay, so again, it's about the topic, not the text. In 30-1, we're asking you to write essays about topics, and then we're giving you a text to support your ideas about the topic. So you almost want to approach this like you're a lawyer. You're being given sort of a topic, you have to create your argument, and then we're giving you evidence that you can use to support your ideas. Obviously, we're going to pull an idea about the topic based upon what's happening in whatever story or film we're watching. But again, our motivator should be about the topic, not the text. So you'll see here, my motivator says, familial relationships are some of the most complicated experiences in a human life. Great. Relationships is up here in the topic question. I have it here again in my motivator, but I'm not even talking about the story yet, which is perfect because that's what I should be doing. The next sentence is the author and text. So this is where we're going to introduce who and what we're talking about in terms of the film, novel, story, and the author or director. It should be either a 1-sentence summary or tell me how does this text connect to the topic. You can do one or the other. Again, this should be 1 sentence, but if you need to, you can use it. So I have an example here that is talking about how this text connects to the topic. I'm not really giving a 1-sentence summary of the story, but I could do that if I wanted to. So what I have here is Two Kinds by Amy Tan examines a volatile mother and daughter relationship and its long-lasting repercussions. So again, I'm using the word relationship here, so I'm clearly tying to the topic in some way, and I'm making it clear kind of where I'm maybe heading in the future. You'll notice that the title here is in quotations. So as it said on the previous lesson page, short stories and poems should be in quotations. Longer things like films, which is the unit you're in now, they should not be in quotations, the titles, they should be in italics. And this is true for a novel or a play like Othello later on. So short stories and poems in quotations, longer ones in quotes. Okay, the next thing is, and this can be the hardest, is your blueprints. So essentially, what are the 3 main arguments you're going to be making about the topic in the next 3 body paragraphs to come? So you can focus on characters, you can focus on events, you can work chronologically. You need to decide how are you going to split up this story to prove your argument in 3 different ways. So my first one is, initially, Jingmei goes along with her mother's wishes, hoping to succeed in one of the identities her mother is trying to find for her. Oh, there's a word identity there. That's in the topic. So I'm clearly sort of tying this all together to create unity. Then my second blueprint, which means my next body paragraph is going to focus on this piece. However, when Jingmei is finding no success in the tasks set out for her, she starts to lose her confidence. Okay, That's what body paragraph 2 is going to be about. Then my third blueprint, as a result, Jingmei continues to doubt herself and never seems to find her true passion or success. Great. That's what my third body paragraph is going to be about. So I'm really laying out the scaffolding of what's coming next in my essay, making it clear who I'm talking about and what I'm going to be talking about. As we said before, the thesis is the most important part of our essay. We can actually get rid of this altogether because it is just a thesis. We're sort of giving you a theme, in this case, identities and relationships, but a thesis is, what are you going to prove in your essay that has to do with this topic? The structure of this is similar to what we did to thematic statements, except now we're having it apply a little bit more clearly to the text. So what I've done here is I've said, the negative effect of an unbalanced parent-child power dynamic is one of destroyed confidence in themselves and their future goals. So I should have 2 or 3 words from the question or synonyms of the keywords. I've got parent-child, so that's acting for the relationships. The confidence in themselves and their future goals, that's sort of the identity. I'm labeling that out. So I have a very clear outcome here. When we write a thesis, there should be that. It should have an outcome, a behavior or a feeling that you are going to prove. Obviously, go back and check out the information about how do we write a good thesis, but just a reminder, it should not include the title, should not include the author, it should not include any characters. It should be a universal statement of what you're going to prove about the topic. Okay, so at the end of it all, it should look like this. It should be anywhere from 6 to 8 sentences. I have my motivator, my title and author sentence, my 3 blueprints, and then my thesis. Okay, so if you need any support or have any questions about these again in the future, as always, reach out to an instructor. But here's just a really quick example of what a motivator could look like, or sorry, what an introductory paragraph could look like.